Hello, welcome back. I guess I ran out of storage. It cut off. I know this is long, but for some reason we're doing it. And so that last chapter, we're almost done. One more page, page and a half. I trust that every sincere student of this light, having Christ's discrimination, will recognize his responsibility as a servant of truth to magnify honor, sincerity, integrity, and transcendence within himself and each individual he contacts, in preference to spectacular psychic phenomena and predictions based on astral readings. 1,000 glamorous glittering snares need not have no effect upon you, blessed ones, if you will only hold fast to the strength of your true being and its wonderful reality, wondrous reality. So the greatness of who we are. I mean, we are these magnificent beings. We are so much more than what we think we are. We are so much more than we've been told. You know, if Christ could say, these works and greater you shall do, you know, that's what he expected. You know, if these guys in the Old Testament living 300, 400, 500 years old, I mean, people fasting, living off fruits, fruitarians and breatharians living off air. Superpowers are being awakened everywhere, every kind. Astral travel, lucid dreaming, where you're in the dream moving things around. It's to long distance healing with people, to, you know, stopping a car that's coming in an accident on the road. I've seen a lot of things similar to this. So, and it's just is what's happening, guys. It's awakening. This is the new paradigm. This is the new earth. This is the new realm. You know, they foretold us with all these movies, superheroes, and all this stuff. It's, you could say, wow, in 20 years, it's going to be amazing what we realize, what we know. No, it's happening now. We don't have to wait 20 years. So just get ready. Get out of the drama. Get out of the dualistic mind, all that TV conflict. And if you're interested, if it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, well, why listen at all? The kids today, the star seeds, the younger generation, they would listen to this. I guarantee you, they would listen to this. The ones that are study the spirit, they're ready. They got their superpowers online, ready to turn on. They see things we don't see. They see things in fractal. They know things. They read people's minds. One of my friends texts me freaking out saying, "Oh my God," she said, "Jeff, my daughter just told me that she's 6 years old. She just come up and told me. She said, Mom, I see the past and I see the future. I see ghosts and I see the past and I see the future." And she's like, "Oh my God, what do I do with that?" And I said, "Well, I would celebrate." And she said, "Why?" I said, "Because now you got another source to get answers from." And I don't mean, you know, mess with the kid for getting all your answers. I mean, that child has wisdom. That child has knowledge, connected to the universe, to her higher aspects, to her awakened divinity tools. Remember, sixth sense. That's all part of who we are. It's natural. Sixth sense, spirituality, psychic, but knowingness is all natural. So what I meant by that was the child, you could have something you're dealing with of she could have something like, the mom could have something like not knowing what to do and make a decision, and they should move, and you could run it by the child, just innocently say, "Hey, what do you think? You think we should move?" Right? Everybody does it with their kids anyways. And you just know this kid's got a little extra connection there, so you could trust a little. You could, like a woman's intuition, you're going to trust that a little bit. Of course, you got to respect that child's, you know, right where they are. You're not going to misuse that. In the past, they've had special kids be born, and then they try to take them, and these agencies have tried to capture these people and misuse them, kidnap them, and use them for their skills. Horrendous where we've been through, but we're not concentrating on that. We're not looking at that. We know that. That's all that shit is true. But we're saying we're not giving 1 ounce to that reality. So it's not true. Poof, gone. The truth is, we are love. We are peaceful. We love life. We are awake. We are alive. We have gifts coming online. We are here as great teams of consciousness to make a difference. You know, I was told long ago, we come from the future. There's groups of us that come from the future, come back in time to make a difference because maybe we were part of making the mistakes before. We're righting the wrongs, transmuting all the past, all those ages, all those mistakes. Quit focusing on them. Get into the here and now. This is the only real time, here and now, to make a difference. But moving forward, with a forward leaning edge, we want things good for our next generation. We want things good for the children. You know, because these are kids coming in are all star seeds. They're all special. They're all awake. All these kids with the disabilities. Do you know what kind of high soul that takes to come in and sacrifice they don't know any different, but having the health of a body to provoke compassion and love and healing from the humans? We're all here to teach each other, folks. They talk about, I've heard the elders say, the wise ones say, you know, why the children that come in, they have cancer and they die at 6, 8 years old. What's that for? Why would God do that? Think about how many lessons of growth, or how much, think of it this way anyways. Not saying this is the truth. I'm just saying, look at it this way. That child and all its purity and what those parents went through, the growth for the soul development of those parents with that child. I mean, you never know. Maybe the roles were reflected in a past life. And they're helping, you know, they're doing things for each other. Maybe parent had karma that didn't have compassion for children. And if this forced it on them, that parent had to become, oh my God, open their heart. They had to go through that suffering of what people and children, we all go through in this life. We have to be on the same page. We have to have the same amount of compassion, empathy, wisdom, love, understanding for each other, generosity, charity, faith, hope, and love. We have to have all these qualities. These are the light side. This is the real. This is the real who we are. This is the authentic self. You know? The other side, yes, it's part of us. Dualistic earth, up, down, right, wrong, good, bad. Yes, we have to have that, but as long as by just accepting it, knowing it's there, loving it, you have addictions or you have hatreds, you have biases, you've hurt people in the past, you have to forgive yourself. You have to come in terms. You have to do your shadow work. You got to face that part of yourself. And this is like shadow work for a parent, let's say, that didn't take care of a child, not that child, but something in a past life. This is the way. This is the Buddhism way. This is the universal way of understanding reincarnation. So it's raising us up as we face these things, as we walk, as we go through the tests of our life, from our childhood till now, all the things we've gone through, all of the tests. We now have a testimony. You can't have a testimony without the test. You walk through it, you embody that. Now you have all the wisdom of it. You didn't read about it. You didn't, it's not outside you. You walked it. You lived it. You are it. So you embody that truth. You embody the wisdom. You embody the knowledge, right? So experience is the best teacher. You've heard that. Experience is the best teacher. So then I'm just saying about the wisdom kids that are coming in now and the evolution of what we're all going through. And that's why people are going crazy, because we're shifting from one reality to another. This is how it used to work. It don't work that way anymore. I could figure this out, or I could control people. I could boss people around. I was the leader. I was da-da-da-da. And or I could poor pity me and da-da-da-da. None of that crap works anymore. have to be total responsible, totally integrity, totally. Did you understand what I was saying? I want to explain exactly what I meant by that. Okay, what I heard you say was mirroring back. And the person says, yes, that's what I said. So thank you. You feel good? You know, we feel good from each other. We're really on the same page. It's like total responsibility in communication. It's total responsibility in every single thing we're doing in life. It's like stepping up to the plate to this next level of mastery, of higher consciousness, of being disciples of Christ, of being disciples of Buddha, of mastery. You know, we're cellas, we're students, we're walking into that, we're taking those steps, we're doing all that. And then we're sharing the wisdom we're gained back out with you all, with the world, with the people. If like they say, like all these people say when they get talking deep, if that makes any sense. Almost done with this. And then I'm going to do the teaching on one more third video. So I'm going to read that one over again. Use then the flame of love to purify. That's that pink plume of the threefold flame. Love, wisdom, power. It's pink, gold, and blue. And this flame is actually an energy. It's an energy. It's a tool. It's like Reiki. It's an energy coming through you. Okay? It's part of who we are. When you expand it, it opens up. It's a gift. It's a freaking amazing, powerful tool that we have right inside our consciousness, right inside our body. It's not just mental. It's not just physical. It's not just spiritual. It's not just your emotions. It's a living tool. It's a receptacle for the higher self. When the higher self comes in, the God consciousness comes in, when it seats itself in the threefold flame. Then if you're going to channel, it comes right through that threefold flame. If you're going to share wisdom, if you're going to have compassion for an animal or a person or the world, you're thinking from the bigger picture and the importance of life, not just selfishly. It's coming through the threefold flame. Okay. Use then the flame of love, of purity, your feeling world of mortal sense consciousness, and weave a garment of immortality while abiding temporarily in the veil of human sorrow and tears. This lifetime, they call it. Condition of world karma, the suffering of the world, samsara, the suffering that's everywhere. Thus, as Jesus lived, so shall ye in the world, but not of it. Overcome all outer frustrations by the intensity of your fervent faith. Feeling my fervent faith, guys? And the overcoming strength of that faith. Overcome anything. Let no one deny you the power of God unto salvation. Remember, conscious immortality is dependent upon the power of love in action in your world. And the release of that power into your world is best accomplished after infinite love has stripped you of all self-limiting human qualities. Everything I've been saying, self-limiting, the negativity, self-esteem, or this is what they did to me as a child, and this is what society said. I'm not skinny, I'm not this, I'm not beautiful, perfect, I don't drive a fancy car. That's what this society, this density has done to us. So after accomplishing the infinite love has stripped from you all self-limiting human qualities, that's what this practice is going to do for you. This practice is going to help do for you. It did it a lot for me the last few months. Notice how I'm a little different, folks? Then divine wisdom can, and she surely shall, expand her action into the force field of your individuality and endow you with such illumination as to make you in truth, God taught. God taught. This is no joke, folks. Ascended Mastic Teachings is from the highest on high. These guys are in the oneness, ascended. They're all ascended like Christ. They're all ascended. It's a whole realm of these beings that are here on the earth plane helping us to raise it up. Yeah, it's been a big fight. Why haven't they done it before now if they're so great? Look, it has been a serious, dark battle for the control of the mind, spirit, consciousness of the humans. right? Now they're going after our children. They're going after the schools, the transgenders, and the perversions, and the cartoons that have sexuality and pedophilia in them. I mean, come on, folks. They're trying to stop the ascension. They're trying to stop this wisdom from getting to our next generation and to becoming the massive great beings that they already are, awakening to their destinies. The dark side is trying to stop that by putting out all this sick, dense, low vibrational, lower chakra, perverted sexuality, the inversion, everything like the upside down cross, everything's inverted, everything's opposite of what it's supposed to be. Is what it is, guys. So this is what's happening for us as we accomplish, after infinite love and has stripped you of all self-limiting human qualities. Hence, we're going to be able to do that for our children. We're going to show them the proper way at a much higher vibrational level because they're ready. They came in ready. They have more DNA awakened than we do. They have more consciousness. They see things. They know things. They read minds. Anyone around kids, this generation is completely different. Okay? So they're ready for these teachings. Maybe not in this wordology, of course. This divine, it's going to come through you, translating out like I'm trying to translate some of this to y'all. You're going to do it for the kids. Every parent, every community, special schools, get this into the schools. Then divine wisdom can, and she surely shall, expand her action into the force field of your individuality and endow you with such illumination as to make you in truth God taught. The divine whisper will softly speak your name as God's identification of your spirit. I am. I am presence. The I am that I am, which is the God all omnipotent, all-knowing, omniscient, all wisdom, all everywhere. I am. We're part of that. We're one with that. We are that. And the meaning thereof will be apparent to you as the soundless sound, the guiding light, the presence of reality manifesting in you, true reality with a big R, manifesting in you, free from the facade of human vice and virtue and all pride in self. All the lower qualities, pride, ego, arrogance, jealousy, selfishness, criminal-mindedness, all that. Poor me, victim consciousness. Then shall you rejoice in the creation of your own immortal consciousness. The Lord God saw the creation which he had made, and behold, it was very good. Quote, quote. In the spirit of infinite peace and goodwill, let all amplify the power of light within the cells of their whole being. Draw and magnetize the light, but know that this light is the balance action of divine love, wisdom, and power. Pink, gold, blue flames. Love, wisdom, and power. The teachings, cherishing and directing you always into the path of righteousness, for his name's sake, I am. That's God consciousness. How else, beloved ones, can man be still and know that I am God? I'm going to read that paragraph over. In the spirit of infinite peace and goodwill, let all amplify the power of light within the cells of their whole being. Draw and magnetize the light, but know that this light is the balance action of divine love, wisdom, and power, teaching, cherishing, and directing you always into the path of righteousness for his name's sake. I am. How else, blessed ones, can man be still and know that I am God? Not little me. I'm not saying I'm God. But the I am, the oneness connected with the allness of God, Yeah, I can say that. So when we speak I am, we're putting that power out in the universe. I am at peace, at harmony, at joy, in celebration, in ecstasy, and bliss with life when I'm feeling really good. So you're making that affirmation you're saying the God in me is all those qualities. I am, the big letters, all capitals. I am in me. That's why it's important to never to use I am not. I'm not healthy, I'm not wealthy, I'm not wise, da da da. Don't use that, because you're actually bringing the highest God consciousness. These are secret codes coming through the language from the mystery schools that we didn't know. And it's like they say that most of our languages are like based on black magic, because they trick us. They make us go down. They make us. You could easily say a negative. You could continually curse your life with these negative sayings. I'm not this. I'm not this. I'm not worthy. I'm not. Of course you are, but you're also saying it with a power. You're saying it with the power of God. I am not. So think about that when you start using that word I am. Look it up. Do some research on the word I am and working with it. This is how the Ascended Masters teach, and this is how they live. This is what they expect of us in this next coming age. I am one with. I'm the perfected health of body and mind. The perfected health of body and mind. I like to say it 3 times. I'm the perfected health of body and mind. They have these decrees where you say, I am is a governing power of this body-mind, and I am governs harmoniously. So the God in me is a governing power. The God in me governs my whole life, and the God in me governs harmoniously. Powerful stuff, guys. Look how powerful that is. I mean, with every word you're saying, God, I adore thee. God, take over my life. God, run the show. God consciousness, not the outer, anything I've ever learned in the outer TV or anything or school or anything from my family. It's the within, the knowledge of the God I am within. Okay? And you're going to see a whole new world. You're going to see a whole new world unveil for you, a whole new world unveil for the world. Okay, guys? Think about it. Think about it that way. Massive advanced teachings. Come on, you can do it. It's easy. It's not hard. Because once you start doing it, they always say in these teachings, as you do this, the I am teachings, the Ascended Master teaching, the more you do it, the more you make a momentum. As the momentum gets built, at one point, it's going to take over. It's going to run its own. It's like pushing a car out of the snow or the mud, and the car's spinning, guys behind the wheel, and as you push it out, it gets its momentum, and then it takes off on its own. The car's fine. The car's gone. So these teachings are like that. They say, once you get the momentum going with them, they're going to take off on their own. They're going to run your life. They're going to lead you at the most optimal, highest quality thinking, manifesting, loving, healing that could possibly exist. Check it out. They should be schools. We should start schools like this, right? We should start our own mystery schools, modern mysteries, which is going to be common knowledge soon. It should be taught in our schools. Let me into schools. I'll teach this to the kids somehow. I'll bring it down somehow. Trust me, they'll get it. Okay, almost done, guys. I said that 5 times. In the spirit of infinite. Okay, we just did that chapter. Paragraph. In his early instruction, Saint Germain. If you don't know who Saint Germain is, you need to research him. He's one of the highest beings in this world, this universe. He's a Christed being. He's a teacher. He's an immortal being. No one ever seen him age or die in all these lifetimes. Look it up. They never seen him. He would go to these banquets. He taught all over the world. He went in and he brought all these higher systems to bring in. No one ever seen him eat. There was a story about that. When they were talking about that guy, they correlated the difference. No one ever seen him eat. He was Ascended Master. He came in at will, he left at will. I'm not saying he came as for a whole lifetime. He didn't just pop in and pop out. He lived through the whole lifetime. But when he left, he walked out with his body. There's a lot of these ascended masters did this. If no one's ever told you this, I'm telling you it. It's freaking true. I've done massive amounts of research on this stuff. The immortal Babaji, India, the famous saint that never died, he would manifest. There's stories of him manifesting in this two sides of the same town. And they said, oh, this great saint just showed up. And who is he? He said he's Bhavatar. Oh, Avaji. What did he look like? He looked like an old man with robes. And they said, no, we seen him the same day over on this side of town. He was a young man, really handsome young man, but it was a Hindu yogi. And it was Babaji. He split himself off, called bilocation, in two bodies or more. These are the abilities beings have reached in this world. You know, there's such things as fruitarians that live their whole life only off fruit. There's breatharians. They live only off air. Look it up. It's true. People have fasted. I have a friend. I could call him right now. I could put him on my video. He's a friend of mine. He fasted for 6 months with no food. Orange juice. It's true. So all these limitations that they've told us, it was the way they wanted us to see reality, guys. They wanted us to see reality a certain way. Okay? The powers that be, the 1% that controls the 99% of the wealth, the ones way up there, the super Draco dudes that have had a power over this world in some form or the other. Come on. Spiritual war. Or Satan and God, however you want to look at it. Okay? Everybody spiritual knows that. So they created the school systems, they created the media, they created the... You know, when we won World War II, they brought all these scientists over here. They were supposed to put them over here and put them on trial for genocide and killing all the people in Germany. They took all these big scientists and put them right into positions in our country. Oh, come here, help us. Make our stuff better. That wasn't ethical at all. And the guy, like Werner Braun, was head of rocketry and for Hitler. Well, he became head of rocketry for NASA. The guy, I don't know his name, who was the head of, what's that word, propaganda in Germany, the way they got all them normal people, those normal Christian people or wherever, that's what their main religion was over there, to fight against the whole world nonstop, give your life up. The only way they did that was propaganda. They sent flyers and flyer dropped them on airplanes over every city nonstop for years, telling them these guys are, they're coming after us. These other Europeans, we have to defend ourselves. We have to make it, all the teachings of Hitler, the Aryan race, when they brainwashed their people. Guess what? They brought that guy over. He's still alive. Brought him over. Guess where they put him? Head of television. Do that research. Head of television. Our television. What? Why? Because he was called the propaganda minister of Germany. Because he was so effing good at it. So if you can brainwash their people, they can brainwash our people. Our leaders wouldn't do that. No, we won the war. Our leaders wouldn't do that. We're not even talking about our leaders, good or bad. We're talking about those that had power over our whole systems, the 1%ers that own 99% of the wealth. We're taking all our power back. Those guys have very little power. They're running for the scare. The dark side's running scared. This is tsunami of love taking over this world now. We are the huge 80, 90% back in the light. Just think if we took over television, if we took over all the media, the light, where none of those guys had any access to. It would be all Gaia TV. It would be all good news. The news, you know what I mean? That's the world we're walking into, guys. However many years it's going to really manifest, but we're walking into it. We're creating it. It's our job. It's our passion. It's coming out of me. It's coming out of my DNA. It's coming right through me. through the universe. Can you tell? You think this is you think this is just Jeff sitting here sharing his passion? Sure it is, but it's more than that, folks. It's the force, it's the tsunami of love coming through my particular channel at this moment. So dig it. It's beautiful. One more page. In his early instruction, Saint Germain advocated the visualization of light surrounding and enveloping the body for a period of 15 minutes of intense concentration. Too many people use such valuable spiritual exercises for a while, and then, because they begin to feel so good, they forget the source of their blessings and do not sustain their momentum. I was just telling you about the momentum. That is going to manifest it to stay with you. Remember, we got all this other crap in our heads and our brains and the neural systems of how we did things for our whole life. We're changing that, but we got to reinsert the new. Yet, magnificent beings, you are and immortal beings too. You are and are immortal beings too. No, sorry, I messed it all up. Yet, magnificent beings, you are and are immortal beings too, like us. Remember, the Ascended Masters were once as you are. Remember, every Ascended Master, and there's hundreds or there's thousands of them, were people that went through the evolutionary stages, rose in their evolution, and became ascended like Christ, like thousands of Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas are ascended beings that are called, and they've made the vow to come back every single lifetime, or till every being on earth is enlightened. So these people could be flying the universe as angels, and they come back, reincarnate. There's these massive amount of awakened beings walking around Asia and all over the world, called Bodhisattvas. That's what we're talking about, Ascended Masters. Remember, the Ascended Masters were once as you are. We are pulling for you, one and all, to make your ascension, to forever find your eternal freedom in the light, where there is no shadow, and where you're free, forever free. The intense action of divine light, released into your use from the heart of your beloved I Am Presence, then freely charged by you with the wisdom and love of your developing threefold flame, is the finest elixir obtainable. Can you believe that? The finest elixir obtainable. From this essence of immortality, every potion of spiritually energizing elixir has been compounded. From this substance of immortality, every potion of spiritually energizing elixir has been compounded. Take this cup in my name, and drink ye all of it. Drink into the kingdom of God. Beloved ones, last paragraph. Beloved ones, there must be a conscious taking in of spiritual energy. Every allegory and symbol pertaining to the divine mysteries has pointed to this truth. It is the way of God unto the partaking of his kingdom, which means taking in the teachings, taking in the energy, taking into the belief or the faith, or that this is even possible, or willing to listen to hear me out. This whole video, it's going to touch you inside. It's going to move something inside. It's going to activate, like a code, like a decode something, like a lock and a key. Drink in the kingdom of God. Beloved ones, there must be a conscious taking in of spiritual energy. Every allegory and symbol pertaining to the divine mysteries has pointed to this truth. It is the way of God unto partaking of his kingdom. It is the communion of the saints. It is a self-chosen path that imbibes conscious immortality and life with a sense of holiness equaled only by the Christ. Behold, I say ye are holy gods. Kuthumi. You hear what I'm saying, guys? You hear what I'm saying? You hear the wisdom. You hear the truth. You hear the power. You never heard that before? No. It's been the mysteries behind the mysteries. The Essenes. The mysteries behind the Bible. The mysteries and the mystery schools that none of the public was ready for. Here it is. It's all pouring out. And this book is two of the Ascended Masters, Christ and Kuthumi, and they go back and forth. This is Jesus and Kuthumi. Every chapter, one speaks and then the other one speaks. And the book and you got to believe in channeling if you want to believe this. I'm going to read the preface. This was from Jesus, just so you can wrap your head around this a tiny bit more. You are here. You are here in attendance to a Corona class conducted by St. Francis in the inner retreat of Jesus the Christ. So St. Francis has something to do with this. And this is a inner retreat. It's like the inner realm. This was first taught on the inner planes. I kid you not, that's what they're saying. It's taught on the inner planes and inner realms where actually groups come together. Things we can't even hardly comprehend, even me. This brother, affectionately called Kuthumi, addresses a large body gathered from every nation who have come to sit at the feet of the Lord to hear him preach his divine doctrine. Uncomplicated by centuries of misinterpretation. Seekers, teachers, ministers, rabbis, priests of holy orders, east and west, lovers of soul, brethren of Buddhist monasteries, worshippers of Kali, all are attending his word. The great and the humble come to hear of the true ecumenism born out of the spirit of unity, all pervasive, of the Son of Righteousness. Lo, he comes with healing in his wings, healing for the schism of the whole body of God on earth. Yes, here at last, raised to that higher consciousness where the law of love is the standard bearer. All understand the point of origin. Consummate self-knowledge in the heart of the little child. All who would follow in my footsteps must understand that unless they are able to contact the great source of life and continually renew their strength, their mission will not be carried forth in the manner desired by God. Continually renew their strength, contact the great source of life, continually renew their strength, their mission will not be carried forth in the manner desired by God. That was stated by Jesus. Now, Kuthumi speaks. My friends who have espoused the spiritual life, eventually, all who ponder the truths of the visible and invisible cosmos come to a conscious desire to study the works of God's hands in greater detail. Now, some are quite naturally drawn to the study of light and truth from early childhood, and many of you in this class are among these. Some of you began along orthodox lines and perceived at one point, as we all have, the futility of being bound by roots of schism, a closed doctrine, or an uninspired ecclesiastical hierarchy, basically the church, which is not wrong in itself, but how it's been misinterpreted, the Bible, such, in the teachings for 1600 years. Your hearts became convinced of the oneness of all life, and you began to seek the unity behind the truth, behind the diversity of religious thought. Your search for truth took you far afield from your point of origin, and you began the journey towards a greater understanding of God's laws. Some of you were buffeted about and finding no solace or peace in the pursuit of material goals. Turn towards the spiritual life as toward one last hope. Whatever your beginnings or the bumpy road between then and now, it really matters not. The important fact is that you are here. The lost teachings of Jesus are being shouted from the rooftops. Let the disciples of the Lord who have sat at his feet join him and his beloved Francis as to deliver to his own these precious dictations that enable the soul to make contact with the great truths of her immortal being in God. Let their 48 Karuna class, whatever that means, Karuna, the aura, I don't know. Let their 40 Karuna class lessons lead you step by step up the Mount of Transfiguration as you learn with Peter, James, John the mystery of the Lord's Transfiguration and your own. And this book was written in the 70s or 80s, so it's not Karuna like the, whatever you call that thing. COVID. I couldn't even think of the word. I didn't want to say the word. Then take up the Lord's mantle whereby he empowers you to preach his lost teachings to the world. I didn't even know I was supposed to be sharing, but I've been guided to. Yes, the teachings are meant to be taught, God taught, by each one of you who has drunk from the cup of the Savior. Hearts reach out to you who know the true meaning of his life and mission. They call to you to teach them the way of personal Christhood, the path of love that freely gives to all the living bread which is come down to us from heaven today. That's the mana, the life force, the prana, the chi, the downloads, the codes that are being transmitted to you today. The supreme joy of reading Jesus' own words after one has studied at his inner retreat. They're trying to say that we've gone in our sleep state. That's what they're saying. We have gone in our sleep state to these places and held these councils with these masters and received this on another level of consciousness. I kid you not. I am not conscious of ever doing it. I have friends that say they've been there several times. They know they've been there. Woke up in a dream and they're in this amazing, huge cathedral of teachings and there was these masters teaching. Whew. The supreme joy of reading Jesus' own words after one has, in quotes, after one has studied at his inner retreat, of finding his teachings dictated to the messengers Mark and Elizabeth Clare Prophet. These are two great masters that channeled all those guys and did all these books. Mark and Elizabeth Clare Prophet, way back. And entering the heart of St. Francis is beyond many a soul's hope for comfort and enlightenment in this life. Just saying, what a great gift this is. Yet here it is, the most profound, the most essential knowledge about yourself, so needed by the seekers for Christ's healing truth made simple and practical for everyone. Even a child can understand it. Let Jesus and Kuthumi open your understanding of the divine doctrine and show you how to face and conquer life with the spirit of Christ's victory, even as you show others how to prepare for the Lord's coming, bodily into their temple with the Holy Spirit and his saints. Karuna class lessons written especially for you, who will not rest until you shout the everlasting gospel from the housetops, and teach men the way, all the way home to God with Jesus, my Savior. And then it says, psst, psst, come, PSST. Come, we must not be late. Your angel escort whispers. St. Francis is speaking of his conversion to Christ through mother poverty and the nature kingdom, and of how the love of God, which burned in his heart, was the key to his oneness of all life. Come, let us fly to the house of the Lord beyond the mountains of the Holy Land, where many are gathered to hear the chronoclass lessons taught by Jesus Canthumi. It's a spiritual retreat for those who would teach men the way. And you know what that's saying? That blows my mind. They're saying that we've done this. Or, for example, myself has done this, that I went there and I received these teachings, and now it's like at another level of consciousness. All these years or whenever, it's now in my hands, and I'm teaching it, sharing it with you guys. They just said right there, we must not be late. St. Francis is speaking at this retreat. So I'm telling you guys, there's other realities. There's other realities. There's Ascended Master Consciousness on other realms. There's these retreats, certain ones around the world, above Mount Shasta and the Teton Mountains in India, where your astral body goes to learn. You know, the spirit learns in other realms, this planet. You got to expand your imagination and your consciousness to what's really going on. It's not what's going on TV. It's not going on what they're telling us on this world. This is the control world. There's an expansiveness. I've been working to win the battle and awaken the consciousness and bring this light consciousness down to the surface for all people, so all the schools, all the 8-9 billion people on Earth. Not just the adepts, not just the students. They say we've been students for many lifetimes. If we got to this level, we've been students for many lifetimes. They call them cellas of these Ascended Master Consciousness teachings. They say they've been here for at least 12,000 years, since Atlantis and before. And they got, of course, they're a higher vibration, they're ascended, so you can't see them in the physical. It's just the way the veils work. It's too dense. They can't come to the angels. You don't see angels walking around because it's too dense. But they can get their effects in, they can touch us, and they can communicate our guides, right? And there's probably guides all around me right here, which I know I feel 5, 6, 7 right now, but I don't know that, so I'm not making that claim. So, and the last thing I'll say, and then I'm done. Overwhelm myself, but not really. So the teachings are correspondence, purpose, brotherhood, the Holy Christ Self, Father, reciprocity, constancy, heart, innocence, recognition of the mission, obedience, power, wisdom, acceleration, sacrifice, atonement, mercy. And they teach about all these things, the real meanings of all these things. Requirement, vision, will, the calling, opportunity, mastership, thought, character, call, spirituality, illumination, vision, seed, perfection, faith, charity, body, threefold flame, alpha and omega, alchemy, man, life, image, soul, heart, holy grail, love. You know, we could start a Zoom class. It'd take us a year to go through this. It'd be fun. Look how bright and light I feel. Look how good I feel. All the colors back in my face. Pink. I'm telling you, it's a passion for me. So hopefully you guys find something for yourself in this. If it's not this, it's something. Find a passion and sink yourself in it. I love you all. My mother gave me that book. Isn't that amazing? My own mother gave me this book. I found it at her house. She goes, "You can have it. I've never really read it." It was, a little beyond her at the time. And this was the inside the book was the old-fashioned bookmarks. Has this little girl, and it says, "Love sees with the heart." She's hugging a doggy. So I've always kept that. My mom's still going strong up where she lives. Amen. Watakeawas and namaste. We are one. In Laket Yalakin, I'm another you. Omitakasi. Hawakianis is the Mayan word for central sun, which is the spiritual sun behind our sun, which all these teachings come from. Go figure. Research it. You'll know what I know.